let's dive straight into the big questions that we'll be asking on our discussion tonight. Is the BJP clearly going after AAP's Aam Aadmi image with the attack that Prime Minister Modi has fired today? But also for the BJP, with Arvind Kejriwal's counter, is there a worry of not having a face, no CM face? Is that a worry for the BJP? Is the BJP eyeing the crucial Jhuggi vote, the slum vote, with the announcement that was made and the inauguration of several apartments for slum dwellers in the national capital today by Prime Minister Modi? All right, let's introduce our panel for tonight. We've got Amitabh Tiwari, political analyst, joining us on this broadcast. Senior journalist Neerja Chaudhary is with us. RP Singh of the BJP and Jasmine Shah of the Aam Aadmi Party. Good evening to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us. I'd like to begin with Jasmine Shah of the Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Jasmine Shah, you heard the Prime Minister's speech today, largely centred over non-stop attacks on Arvind Kejriwal, particularly over the CM House renovation or Sheeshmahal, as he refers to it. With the BJP centering their attacks in the run-up to an election in Delhi over this issue, do you admit that, yes, this renovation has cost the AAP dearly, politically at least?
You go out in the streets and nobody seems to be caring about any of these issues which do not affect the day-to-day life of the people of Delhi. Delhi voter is a very smart voter. And today when Mr. Modi came and addressed the people of Delhi after 5 years, mind you, he did not have time to talk to the people of Delhi in these last 5 years, we expected that he will tell them what has he done, his government at the center has done in the last 10 years for the people of Delhi. You know and I know that Delhi is a half state. Half of the power is with Mr. Kejriwal and the state government. The other half is with the center. And what did they do in the last 10 years? Rather than talking about that, for almost his entire speech, he went non-stop on a rant against Mr. Kejriwal. You know, today they inaugurated some 1,700 flats for the slum dwellers. In 2020 elections, in BJP's manifesto, this is part of their official manifesto, they said we will give Pakka flats to all 4 lakh slum dwellers of Delhi by 2022. 5 years later, he comes and gives 1,700 flats and says कि बहुत बड़ा काम कर लिया. Today, he only laid the foundation stone for 3 colleges. Tell me, in 10 years, the Prime Minister could only marshal the resources to only lay the foundation stone. As against that, AAP has opened 3 new universities. We have set up 6 additional campuses. We've increased the number of seats in higher education from 80,000 to 1.6 lakh. We have built 22,000 classrooms. That is the real work.
We'll come to that, Jasmine. We'll come to that. Right now,
there is no accounting of what
criticism. Right now, on the criticism of the CM House renovation, on the Sheeshmahal, as the BJP puts it, is the Aam Aadmi Party on the back foot? Your very name of the party says Aam Aadmi. Nothing about that splurge says Aam Aadmi.
Absolutely not. What has he done? You know, there is an official residence of the Chief Minister of Delhi. And mind you, why is there no conversation about the 8,400 crore flight or the private airplane that the Prime Minister brought in? No previous Prime Minister spent so much on a private airplane. Why is there no conversation of 2,700 crores of renovation going at the Prime Minister residence? So, you know, it appears hilarious to me that somebody like Mr. Modi, who wears 10 lakh ka suit, comes and today the only allegation he has against Mr. Kejriwal is that aapne Sheeshmahal bana diya. See, this is at the end of the day a person who has done no work, a party who has done no work for the people, and non-stop their only defense and argument to the people of Delhi is dekho inhone ye nahi kiya. And that too they lie right, left and center.
Look, is it fair to criticize Arvind Kejriwal on a renovation that he did for the CM House, not his private residence, for the CM residence? And then you've got the Aam Aadmi Party putting out all the numbers that Jasmine Shah has referred to about the expenses of the Prime Minister.
Akshata, thank you for inviting me, and I hope Mr. Shah won't intervene. I never intervened when you were speaking. I'll appreciate that he should not speak in between, because in the previous debate, the moment I started picking up points,
we'll ensure that, Mr. Singh. Go ahead and make your point.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, let's talk about what has they done. I mean, that house which he has constructed has been constructed during Corona period without any approval of the required authorities. And that too, not even the proper plans were approved and no budgets were approved. Nothing was done. And it was being forced on the Delhi's taxpayers' pocket. He is talking about some 2,700 crore rupees. I give a challenge. Not a single penny has been spent on the Prime Minister house till now. It was only the parliament which has been constructed, which is the mandir of the democracy. So they can keep culling out figures which they have to cull out. But let's talk about what are the basic amenities which are required, which Prime Minister spoke about. And sorry, before that, he talks about the half state. I mean, दिल्ली की असेंबली में खड़े होकर कहते हैं हम दिल्ली के मालिक हैं. I mean, remember that debate? He was thumping his chest and saying हम दिल्ली के मालिक हैं, हम तय करेंगे दिल्ली कैसे चलेगी. So दिल्ली के मालिक should decide on Delhi. I mean, they talk about schools. 1.5 lakh children are dropped out from every year from class 9 and 11th from last 3 years. I'm sending you the RTI reply right now, after I finish, just to improve the result for 10th and 12th. Just to improve the result of 10th and 12th.
Okay, we'll go into all of that. Mr. RP Singh will go into all of that. My pointed question to you is about, this attack that Prime Minister Modi has fired at Arvind Kejriwal over the CM House renovation. And you've got the Aam Aadmi Party hitting back with data about the Prime Minister's expenses. This kind of levelling up on an official position, is that something that will go anywhere? Does that help in this political battle?
Akshita, I just now explained that it was done without any plan approval by the concerned authorities for building up a house at a place where he can't build that up, and gobbling up the land which was not part of the house, the CM house. One. Secondly, also, there were no PWD approvals, there was no budgetary approvals for that complete thing which he has done, 56 crore rupees without budgetary approvals. Okay. So there's the question. And I am again saying, please ask them to give a single account of 2,700 crore rupees which they are talking about Prime Minister House, whereas it was just for the parliament, which is the
Let me bring in Neerja Chaudhary, senior journalist, also on this broadcast. Neerja, ma'am, what did you make of the Prime Minister's speech as he's kicked off the campaign for the BJP? The attempt by the BJP here seems to be to erode the image of Aam Aadmi from the AAP. Do you think that actually works on the ground, that will work for the BJP?
I think the BJP certainly will try. And whether it's Liquorgate, whether it's Sheeshmahal, those are weak points of the Aam Aadmi Party, where they are vulnerable. And of course, the Prime Minister's blistering attack against Kejriwal today, it shows that the Delhi election is going to be Narendra Modi versus Arvind Kejriwal. It's not going to be so much BJP versus AAP. So those lines are again become clear. Unlike the recent elections in Maharashtra and Haryana and the other states where it was a local leadership and the parties which were facing each other. It wasn't the national leadership that was, calling the shots in these state assembly elections. It wasn't the Prime Minister versus Rahul Gandhi at all. So it was Mahayuti leaders versus MBA leaders. So this, I think Delhi is acquiring a higher profile. That seems very obvious. And they want to make sure that Kejriwal doesn't come back to power. Now, Kejriwal has lost ground amongst middle classes, but his popularity remains intact in the jhuggies amongst the poorer sections. When you go to them and talk to women, they will tell you, yeah, हमारे बच्चे जाते हैं स्कूल में, केजरीवाल लेकर आया है. So that popularity does remain intact. And of course, Kejriwal doesn't have a new narrative this time. He's talking about all his old, all that his government has done in the past. So let's see how the thing develops. And BJP is going hammer and tong, also doesn't have a narrative about what it's going to do. It's going hammer and tong, as you absolutely rightly said, to destroy the image of Kejriwal as well as his party.
It's a battle of personalities, essentially, and ironic, really, that in a city, a national capital, where you've got so many civic issues, there's a dearth of issues that both political parties are able to actually find. Jasmine Shah, the question right now for the Aam Aadmi Party will be, are you able to really create a narrative? You've got the Prime Minister today saying that AAP has been a disaster for Delhi. You've had Kejriwal conceding that, yes, there are a couple of issues on which we haven't been able to deliver, the polluted Yamuna, for example.
Absolutely. Again, I'm going to answer your question, but the primary responsibility of the center in Delhi is law and order. And today we know that the number of rape incidents in Delhi have doubled since the horrific 2012 Nirbhaya incident. We know the number of extortion calls that go on, the number of child kidnapping. I mean, Delhi has become the crime capital of India. There is no addressing even what BJP is doing about this. As far as our narrative is concerned, see, we take a lot of pride in the fact that Delhi has done things which nobody thought were possible, that government schools will perform better than private schools. Government hospitals and mohalla clinics will offer high quality care. Has everything been done in Delhi? Absolutely not. We would rather be honest rather than fake that, everything in Delhi has become a Vishwaguru or the best city in the world. We are admitting that the work on Yamuna is half done. Not that nothing has been done. A lot of work has been done in Yamuna. Today, for the first time, all the unauthorized colonies in Delhi are connected with the sewer system. No politician, no political party invested in that. In the next 5 years, we are promising, we have a blueprint in place. We will clean Yamuna. We will take further stringent actions on air pollution. Today, Delhi has the highest number of electric buses in India, which is 2,000. We are planning to take it to 8,000 in the next 1 year. So, this also idea that middle class ke liye kuch nahi kiya, I think is a flawed concept. In terms of infrastructure, CCTV cameras, street lights, AAP government has built 38 flyovers in the last 10 years. In the previous 65 years, only 62 flyovers were built.
No, the
So
challenge
clearly
is,
a lot
the
has been
challenge
done,
is, Jasmine
but
Shah,
a lot also needs to be done.
what you referred to in your first answer, which is that whenever the AAP is pulled up about governance in Delhi, about development in Delhi, you point fingers at the center. You say the center is not allowing us to do anything.
No, I did not say that. For a moment, for not a single moment on your show, I'm not saying that. I am questioning BJP because BJP has a lot of power. They could have done a lot about Delhi. The only thing they have done is tried and stop AAP from working. However, they have failed. Today, we have made substantial progress. And for the next 5 years, we are saying our agenda is to make Delhi streets world class, to clean Yamuna, to act further on air pollution. We announced the Mahila Samman Yojana. 2,100 rupees to every woman above 18 years. No government in any state has launched such a universal scheme. We announced Sanjeevani, free healthcare for every senior citizen, irrespective of the amount of cost or in private or public healthcare.
Mr. RP
That is
Singh,
the agenda
Mr.
for
RP
future.
Singh, what's your response when the Aam Aadmi Party repeatedly says that, look, we have done what we can, we have ensured that we've delivered as much as we can, and we promise to deliver more. Look, this whole centre versus Delhi government spat is something that's very public. It's been happening in front of every Delhiite right now. So they know that the central government also has a stake in how Delhi functions and how Delhi develops.
Well, let's talk about law and order because that comes under the center, but that's very specific. The gentleman named Naresh Balyan, who's the MLA behind bar nowadays, because he used to go in between the gangsters and the businessmen here. He will take the money, ransom money from the businessman and pass it on to the gangsters. And who was he? He was the Aam Aadmi Party MLA, and his wife has been given a ticket now this time. So this is the level of the Aam Aadmi Party talking about the law and order in Delhi. I mean, they are part of the gangsters who are operating in Delhi. So coming to the basic issues, as I told, 1.5, he has not answered that 1.5 lakh children are dropped out. I give a challenge, I'm telling you RTI just along with this, so that you can understand that this is the fact. Was there a scam of 65,000 tests being conducted, which were fabricated tests in the Mohalla clinic, only to make money out of the Mohalla clinic? Scam was there of the Mohalla clinic. Did the 3 children died because of wrong medicine being prescribed to the Mohalla clinic or not? Did the 3 IAS aspirants died because of the bad sewer system managed by Delhi MCD, which is managed by Aam Aadmi Party, and also by the government of Delhi, which is managed by Aam Aadmi Party now? So there are issues which they have to answer. But yes, they can keep spreading lies, and they can keep spreading lies again and again. How's the air quality of Delhi from last 8 years now? They'll start pointing fingers at Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, UP, but they will not talk about
no,
what
has the central government also done about that, Mr. RP Singh? Look, today you had a slew of inaugurations happening by the Prime Minister. The criticism that's coming from the opposition repeatedly is that all of this development is timed to elections.
I'll give you the answer, please. The Eastern-Western corridor, periphery corridor, has been built by the central government to ensure that no trucks come to Delhi to avoid pollution in city. It was the Delhi government, it was central government budget. The Pragati Vidan and the Vasant Kunj and all those flyovers, underpass have been built by central government. I give a challenge to Mr. Shah. Name any one flyover which has started by the Delhi government, led by Aam Aadmi Party, not by the previous government of Sheila Dikshit, which they have completed now. That's a separate point. So they can claim to whatever was done by earlier government are completed now, but not initiated by them.
Jasmine Shah, your response.
Also, can I have another second?
I'll come back to you, Mr. Singh.
Asked one question.
Go ahead.
He asked one question. I said earlier that 38 flyovers have been opened by the AAP government. Just yesterday, the Punjabi Bagh flyover was inaugurated by our chief minister. I think Mr. RP Singh, like all the other BJP leaders, live in a cave. They come only with talking points, blind to the fact that Delhi has seen quite a lot of development in the last 10 years. can today anybody dispute that, mohalla clinics are catering to more than 2 crore of patients every year? Free medicine, free test. No other healthcare system in the country, comes close to what AAP has created in Delhi. On pollution also, AAP is the only government in the last 10 years that has shut down its thermal power plants, has moved all its industries to non-polluting fuels, has the largest fleet of electric buses
No,
in the
come on.
country. We have
Jasmine,
doubled the
Jasmine,
Delhi
come on.
metro.
We all live in
So
Delhi.
clearly
We're
a
all
lot
breathing the same air. So let's not pretend like air pollution has been addressed or dealt with in any manner
I'm
in the
not
last
saying
few years.
that.
We're
You
all
are
breathing
twisting.
this air. You're breathing it, I'm breathing it. We know what's happening.
Absolutely. Allow me to finish. And I think you're simplifying the point that I'm trying to make. It is CPCB data, not my data. CPCB data shows that the average PM 2.5 levels in Delhi have reduced by 35% in the last 10 years. Is that enough? Absolutely not. A lot more needs to be done. But tell me, when is the last time you heard Prime Minister Narendra Modi take accountability of the fact that 42 out of the 50 most polluting cities in the world are in India? And he has a plan of action against that. He stays mum on the issue of air pollution. He stays mum on the issues of crime, law and order. And that is the real account of a prime minister who today spent 40 minutes only ranting at a state chief minister rather than telling what is his vision for Delhi. What has he done for the last 10 years? And I think that clarity today is there in the Delhi voter, that BJP is nothing, but they only want to pull down, they only want to abuse, they have no vision for the national capital.
Let me bring in Amitabh Tiwari right now on this broadcast, who's been patiently waiting. Mr. RP Singh, I'll come back to you. I'll give you a chance to respond. Amitabh Tiwari, today we saw Prime Minister Modi also going ahead and inaugurating these slum redevelopment schemes, inaugurating apartments to ensure slum dwellers get these flats as well. There's clearly an attempt by the BJP to reach out to the slum vote, the Jhuggi vote as it's referred to. Do you think they'll be successful in really cracking that? Because that vote has been crucial, really, in deciding about 20 seats in Delhi.
Yeah, they could act as kingmakers because almost half of the population of Delhi lives in slums. So what happens is that a large portion of these voters vote for the BJP in Lok Sabha elections because they're beneficiaries of some of the other central schemes like a PM Awas or a Ujjwala. But when it comes to the Vidhan Sabha elections, these voters tend to shift towards the Aam Aadmi Party because they are beneficiaries of some of these schemes, which is free Bijli, Pani, etc. What has happened over the last 10 years is that some of the families living in these jhuggis have grown because some of the children of the people living there have married and the families have grown. So what has happened is that they have exceeded the consumption of the water as well as the electricity, and now they are being billed for the Bijli and the Pani. So free Bijli, Pani is no longer an issue for many of the people living in the slums of Delhi. That is number one. Number two, since Aam Aadmi Party has also won the MCD elections, the passing the buck on the BJP for the cleanliness, etc., is also not working this time, perhaps. That's why we see that the party has adopted a soft Hindutva approach, wherein they have announced a cash income support for pujaris and are also targeting the LG for allegedly raising some of the temples. So when Aam Aadmi Party talks about a 10-year rule, that's why perhaps they're talking about a 10-year rule, because they realize that the tenor of the performance under Kejriwal 2.0 is not as great as what was in Kejriwal 1.0, and that's why this deflection is sort of happening, and BJP also falling prey to that in a way that it is trying to project that it is the original Hindutva. BJP does not have a face, and it needs to find 70 faces to challenge AAP candidates in those seats, and it lacks preparedness because it does not come up with the list, neither with the manifesto promises, and most of the heavy lifting is left to the Prime Minister to do in Delhi.
Important point that you've made, Amitabh Tiwari. And as I close this debate up, closing comments quickly, Mr. RP Singh, the challenge for the BJP, as Arvind Kejriwal put it, is an apada, 3 problems really, essentially. One, with regards to the fact that you don't have a CM face, and also that, according to Kejriwal, you have no agenda.
Well, we have 214,000 Panna Pramukh who are working on ground from last 1 year. And then they are also working in Jhuggi clusters and even in the lower income group
household. Who's the CM face? Do you have a CM face?
Can I complete? Please, can I complete? Just We don't need a CM face like Arvind Kejriwal, like a liquor bottle, because everywhere he goes, the woman talks about liquor bottle, one with one free. I mean, that's how they acknowledge the Arvind Kejriwal as a CM face. So we don't want faces like Arvind Kejriwal, or we don't want to be seen like Arvind Kejriwal. And our party has contested election without CM face also. And then also that we are talking about agenda. Agenda is very clear that we'll provide for clean water to every household. I'm telling you today, we'll provide for good health service without any category. Like they used to claim that the health services are free for everyone in city. Now they are cut it down to 60 plus. The Sanjeevani is for 60 plus. Go through the agenda of Mr. Kejriwal 3 years ago. Everyone can get free treatment. We are saying that we'll give you free treatment from the child being born till the time the person is alive. He'll get a free treatment citywide. Not like them that 60 plus or no. And also they talk about buses, free buses. We'll provide 15,000 air-conditioned buses in city. They are only with 72, out of which 1,900 had been provided by the Prime Minister Modi. Also, not only that, last mile connectivity, which they failed on, which is the basic reason for pollution in Delhi. Give me another, it's very important, because which is the basic reason for pollution in Delhi. 42% in Delhi pollution is because of the vehicular pollution. If you have last mile connectivity, the vehicular pollution will go down immediately. And we are committing that we'll provide you for a last mile connectivity.
All right. Closing comments, Jasmine Shah. Jasmine Shah, what's the AAP strategy really to counter anti-incumbency? Is there a failure to really get a clear agenda in this election for both the AAP and the BJP?
Absolutely not. If there is any party which is talking about its agenda, what will they do when they come back to power? It is actually only the Aam Aadmi party. I'm actually glad to hear Mr. RP Singh talk about healthcare today, because this seems to be his personal ideas, because they've never been announced or spoken about by BJP platform. The Prime Minister should have said, I will provide free healthcare to every citizen of Delhi. He never spoke. He left it to Mr. RP Singh to come and talk on a debate. It shows that they have no vision, they have no agenda for the people of Delhi. It is only AAP, and people of Delhi very well know that if BJP, even if it by mistake or fluke they come to power, they will stop the free electricity, the free bus rides for women, for free water. They will ruin the schools and hospitals, because that is the track record of BJP in every state. In no state, in 20 state governments that they rule, nowhere have the government schools or hospital system been transformed. The true legacy of BJP, and people of Delhi understand that.
Okay, all right. Mr. Singh, I don't have time. I just finally will get one comment from Neerja Chaudhary as well on how challenging it will be, ma'am, for really the Saffron Party, for the BJP to break the fort of AAP in Delhi. They're reaching out to, trying to get the Juggi vote. You're seeing also the Savarkar issue that's been brought up right now by Prime Minister Modi, laying that foundation stone for the D.U. Savarkar College. Do you think this is enough?
I think, the BJP is better placed this time than it has been in the last two elections. Number two, much will depend on how women vote, because women were a very crucial, decisive factor in the last two elections where the AAP did very well. Number three, much will also depend on how the Congress fares. Congress is not in the game by itself, but if its voter share goes up by 8 to 9%, Mr. Kejriwal is going to be in trouble, because that will mean that the minorities and the Dalits, a section of them are swinging to Congress. But if the Congress doesn't revive, then I think Mr. Kejriwal is more comfortable. But I would say in the end, one would have thought that this election in Delhi is so very important at the beginning of the new year, would help us focus really not as a slogan and a countercharge and a charge, but on the pollution in Delhi. People are slowly dying. Their lives are being cut short. And we want parties in Delhi to come up with an action plan of what they plan to do. Not say you are not doing this and you are not doing this. Tell us what you're going to do to get this right.
You've put it very, very well. And I think for every Delhiite watching this broadcast right now, and I'd say actually across the country, everyone, the first thing that comes up when you talk about Delhi is the pollution, the deadly smog that all of us are unfortunately forced to breathe. And politicians cutting across political parties, have failed to deliver and actually crack down on pollution in the national capital. We hope that's really the thrust of the campaign for all political parties. We hope that's really the driving force of the poll narrative as well. But I'd like to thank everyone for joining us on this broadcast. Mr. RP Singh, Jasmine Shah, Amitabh Tiwari and Neerja Chaudhary, thank you very much for joining us here on the news today.